Hello there, my friends, new and old, and welcome to the cast on video, which is potentially the first video you are watching, because casting on is how we get the stitches on the needle to start our project. So if this is your first video, welcome. And this is all about having fun. These videos are not perfect. It's just me talking you through how to do each skill. This is not about perfection. This is about learning a new skill. And yeah, we're going to jump in with the cast on. It's called a long tail cast on, the cast on that we use in all of our projects. And I actually think, to be completely honest, casting on is one of the trickier parts of knitting. So if you nail this, my friend, I reckon you are away laughing. Okay, so to cast on, we need one of our knitting needles, or if you are casting on a beanie project or anything in the round, you will need your circular needles, but I'm going to show you on a straight needle. It's exactly the same technique, but just depending on what needles you use. Okay, you do the same thing is kind of what I'm saying. So I'm going to show you on a straight needle. So you need just one of your needles and your ball of yarn. So in each pattern, it will tell you how many stitches to cast on for the size that you are doing. So say it says to cast on 40 stitches. One of the ways to figure out how much yarn you are going to need to cast on is to take your yarn and your needle and wrap it around the number of times that are the stitches that you're counting on. So say you need to cast on 20 stitches, you would wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and you would take that part where you got up to, unwind, and that's where you would start your cast on. So that, I think, is the best way to go about figuring out how much of a tail you need. This is called the long tail cast on. And you're going to pinch that point with your fingers, and then you're going to lay it on your hand in a bit of a loop, okay? Because we are going to create a slip knot. If you already know how to make a slip knot, you do it your way. If you don't, I'm going to show you my way. So you've got a bit of a loop here, and then you're going to grab back at the top and twist it clockwise so that it creates a bit of a kind of loop-de-loop going on. So I'll just do that again. So you have your nice little hill, humplety hill. You grab the top with your fingers and you twist it clockwise, so you have just one kind of loop-de-loop going on. Then you take the loop-de-loop part, the road, make silly metaphors here. Then you take the loop-de-loop part at the front and you're going to pinch it with your fingers about here. And where you've pinched it, you're going to push it through that loop, and then you're going to pull everything tight. And that's how I make a slip knot. So I'll go through that again. So you're about here. So you're going to pinch at the top and twist clockwise. Then you're going to take the one that's at the front, do another pinch, and put that bit you were pinching. Oh, so pinch. He goes through, and you're going to pinch him again and pull everything tight. So that is a slip knot. Okay, now we are going to start our cast on by taking our knitting needle, and we're going to insert it from the right to left in that slip knot. So just literally coming in, you want to make sure that the tail is at the front and the yarn that's attached to your yarn ball is at the back, okay? And you're going to pull the yarn one that's attached to your yarn ball just to tighten that up. You don't want it super tight. You want it like, you want a little bit of give in there. Okay, so the yarn tail at the front, the yarn to the ball at the back, and you're going to bring it kind of to the edge of, see how the knitting needle has a shaft, love that word, shaft, and then it goes into its point. You kind of want to be working around this area, so not on the skinny part of the point and not all the way down here. This is your kind of sweet spot here. Okay, so like I said, the cast on, I believe, is one of the trickier parts of knitting because it has quite a few steps to it, but I'm going to go super slow and we're going to do it quite a few times, and that is just practice. It is just practice, making up little mnemonics and songs to yourself, kind of concentrating as you get into that first bit of the learning phase, and then honestly it will become like riding a bike. So here we go. So we've got our little slip knot on the needle, and we're holding our needle with our right hand. This is obviously for right-handers, but I was talking to some left-handers who had never knit before, and we decided that one strategy is to just learn to knit right-handed. I know that sounds silly, but I've had 2 people do that and say that it's been awesome. So I might get a left-hander in here to do some left-handed videos, but for now, give that a go. Anyway, so holding our knitting needle with our right hand, and this is our tail, okay? We're working with the tail to begin with. So we put our left hand in like we're going to shake someone's hand. So nice to meet you. And we're going to do a thumbs up because we've met someone new. Nice to meet you, thumbs up. We're going to take that thumbs up and going behind that front yarn, we're going to pull it out so that we have an arrow. You see the arrow forming here? So we've formed an arrow. So the first 3 steps are nice to meet you. You can put your finger here actually to keep the slip knot on. Some people like to do that. Nice to meet you, thumbs up. The thumb that's giving a thumbs up goes behind that front bit of yarn and pulls out to form an arrow. So now we're going to get our needle and we're going to trace up our thumb, catching the point of that arrow that we just made, and we're going to hold it there. So we're going to remove our right hand, we're going to hold everything with our left hand, we're going to keep our thumb in the loop, and now we're going to do bring in the yarn that's attached to the ball, and we're going to hold it from behind. I'm going to loop it from behind and bring it down under that finger that's being held there. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of that again. So nice to meet you, thumbs up. We do a loop from behind to make an arrow, then we trace up the thumb, and then we hold on so we can take our right hand away. Our thumb has still got the loop over it. Then we take our right hand to grab the yarn that's attached to the ball, and we go from behind up and then to meet this finger, and he holds on. Okay, and then I suppose you can take that finger off now, replace it with your right hand, and we're going to get that loop that's over the thumb off the needle, and then we're going to pull tight. Okay, so that probably seems very overwhelming because it is a lot of steps, but let's just break it down again and do it in time with me. Okay, so we're going to make sure we're working with the front yarn, that's your tail. We're going to do a nice to meet you, thumbs up, thumb behind and out to make an arrow. I know that's the easy part. So here we go with the next bit. We're going to trace up our thumb to capture that and form a little loop over our thumb. Okay, now we bring in the back yarn. So we're going to grab him and we're going to loop from behind and bring him down. Actually, you don't need to hook it under that finger, just hold it with that hand. That might be easier. I was probably adding in an extra step there. Okay, then we're going to get our thumb and we're going to bring him to the end, and we're just going to pop that loop that was over our thumb off. Okay, and then we just pull both of the strings to tighten it up. Now again, not too tight, you're not really squeezing, you just kind of put a bit of pressure, and you can do that however you like if you need to use 2 hands to begin with. And you're going to start seeing a bit of a kind of a braid going down here as you go. Okay, let's do 2 or 3 more together. Nice to meet you, thumbs up. We wrap from back and form an arrow. We trace up our thumb, we hold there with the loop over the thumb. We grab our yarn attached to the ball and we loop from behind and over, and we hold it with our right hand. Then our thumb slips that loop off, and then we pull kind of both gently to tighten it up. Okay, nice to meet you, thumbs up, arrow, trace up finger. Take our right hand, going around and holding it there. Then our loop on the thumb comes off and we pull them both. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more with you, my friends. Nice to meet you, thumbs up. Thumb from the back and out to make an arrow. We trace up our thumb to capture that loop. Then we're taking our right hand and getting the ball attached to our yarn. We're going around and holding it on our needle. Then our thumb with the loop goes up and over, and we pull them both. Okay, we'll do one more for luck, my friends. Nice to meet you, thumbs up. From back, we're doing an arrow, then we're tracing up the thumb. Then we take our right hand to grab this yarn, and it comes around and we hold it on our needles. Then our thumb pops off the ends of the needle with the yarn, and then we pull it tight. Okay, so now you can count the stitches that you've done, and this includes the slip knot. So if your pattern says to cast on 40 stitches, you will actually be casting on 39, because you're going to include in the final count your cast on stitch. So just when you've done your casting on, counting every stitch on the thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have cast on 6 stitches with you, and as you can see, you see a beautiful braid coming down there, and you know that you've got it right. And this is something that you might have to practice a few times, my friends. It is a-okay to pull the needle off, undo it all back to your slip knot, make sure your yarn that's the tail is at the front, put your needle back in from the right, and start again for some practice. I know, again, it might seem overwhelming, but you get into a flow. You do step by step by step by step by step, and your body remembers. It's quite amazing. And like I said, if you nail this, you have nailed knitting. So go forth, my friends, and practice your cast on. It is the start of a great adventure. Let's do it.